What's up guys, Cameron here with Camtech TV, and today we're going to go over the OnePlus 6 in my full review. We're going to check out the camera, we're going to check out the speed, the performance, and to see if it's worth your money. For 6 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, it only starts at $529. So is it worth your money? We're going to find out right now. Alright, so we're going to go through a few categories here. We're going to go through design and build quality. We're going to go through performance and software, battery, the camera, and should you even buy the thing to begin with. So, moving to design and build quality. This is an excellently designed phone. You have glass on the front and back. This is Gorilla Glass 5. They use a anodized coating, I think it's called. That gives it this matte finish, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It looks and feels really premium. So if you take a look here, you do have a glass back. This will scratch super easy. I know Mr. Who's the Boss and I think Mr. Mobile, they did their reviews and they already scratched it while reviewing the phone. If this goes up against a key, a penny, whatever, this will scratch really easily. So this comes in 3 different flavors. This comes in a 64 gigabyte storage, 128 and 256, 56 gigabytes. Now the 64 gigabyte version only comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM, but still that is a lot of RAM compared to the flagships that are out there. The Google Pixel 2 only has 4. So that's an excellent option. That starts at $529. For $579 you get the 128 gigabyte version for the 8 gigabyte RAM model, and then you have the 256 gigabyte with the 8 gigabytes of RAM as well. This is the 256 version. This goes for $629, which I believe is an excellent value. But anyways, moving on. You have glass on the front and back. You have the volume rockers here on the left side, and you have the dual SIM card slot, no expandable storage. You have the noise canceling microphone right here. You have dual cameras on the back, 16 megapixel main shooter with 1.7 aperture, a 20 megapixel camera that's strictly just for depth effect, which it has the same focal length as the primary camera, which I don't know why they didn't use a telephoto lens for portrait mode and optical optical zoom. Beats me. The fastest fingerprint scanner in the game right here that is scratch resistant. On the bottom here we have a USB type C port that supports dash charge. We'll get into that later. We have a single stereo speaker. This speaker really sucks. I wouldn't recommend showing anyone videos or music or anything like that on this thing. It sounds really bad. Then we have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right here on the bottom, which is awesome. Now this is not IP certified, but OnePlus claims that it is water resistant. So if you do play with it in the rain, just don't submerge it, but some splashes won't hurt it. You're good to go there. We have a 1080p. I'm so used to using the Samsung S9. We have a 1080p AMOLED display. The blacks are really black and the whites are really white. I would choose a 1080p AMOLED display over a IPS LCD display any day of the week, just because the blacks are really black and the whites are really white. On LCD displays, the whites seem kind of washed out, so it doesn't have that sharp, crisp look. This is an excellent display. As you can see, I have dark mode here. This looks really good. So kudos to the display. It's not a 1440p display like the Samsung S9, but you're only paying $529 depending on the model. So you have the power button right here, which is also the wake button, and then you have the famous textured rocker right here that lets you go to silent, vibrate, and ring, which is awesome. So A+ for build quality. You also have a 16 megapixel front facing camera on the front that takes excellent selfies. The portrait mode will come in a future update. I can't wait for that because they need to really invest in this software. They need to really invest in the software for the camera because the camera is lacking a bit. So I believe that they could boost it with software, just like Google did with theirs. So they could really redeem themselves. But I can't wait till that front-facing portrait mode is there. We have the small earpiece and the notch, the famous notch. Now the notch moves us into our next category, which is software and performance. So the notch right here, you can go ahead and remove it. You go into settings, and then you're gonna go into display. You're gonna go into notch display, and you could actually hide the notch. This is an excellent solution to the people who don't like the notch, and especially when you have an OLED display, the blacks are really black, so it blends into the top really, really well. You also have apps that you can choose to display the notch or not. You have full screen mode, and then you have what is it? Full screen or default. So you could have it full screen and display the notch, or you could have certain apps that maybe don't display the notch really well. You could have it on default, which will have the bar at the top, which is pretty cool. So I think that's an awesome option. And this software is running Android 8.1, which it's going to get Android P beta, and this software is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how much love I have, but even being an iOS user, how much love I have for stock Android. This is as stock as it gets. There aren't any double apps that you get on the Samsung. I believe when you pick up an LG or you pick up a Samsung, the skins are so heavy you don't even feel like you're using an Android device anymore. It's like you're using their own OS. So I don't really like that just because it conflicts with software updates. So as you know, LG and Samsung, since the skins are so heavy, they have to work with Android to have their skins compatible with the latest Android update, and it just delays. Samsung is late 6 to 8 months to the party. They just got Android 8.1 since it's been out last May, so it's really, really disappointing. But this is as stock as it gets. You're gonna get faster updates. You're gonna have a smoother performance. As you can see with the Pixel 2, you only had 4 gigabytes of RAM, but it was faster than the Samsungs. It was faster than the LGs. It was faster than the Android devices that had those skins. Can you imagine what stock Android is with 8 gigabytes of RAM? This is absolutely a workhorse. I could not get it to lag. So the power is there. Again, with the software, you do have gesture support, and with Oxygen OS, which is their super light skin that is on the OnePlus 6, you have gesture support. So you can swipe up to go home, or you can swipe up and hold, and you will get your apps, which is really cool. And then you just swipe up and you can go back home. So gesture support is on here. It's really seamless. I love it, and it's amazing. The stock experience is really awesome on the OnePlus 6. So if you're worried about the skin, especially something like the Huawei where it has a super heavy skin, you're gonna be just fine. Now this does not have a always on display, but this is called the ambient display. You lift up and it shows you what notifications that are there. And what's really cool is that even though it's black and white, the notifications come in as colored. So you do see those colored emojis and so forth, which is really, really neat. So software is an A+, performance is a super A+. So far, design has been an A+, build quality has also been an A+. Now we're going to go into battery. This battery is rocking a 3300 milliamp battery, and it's okay. It'll get you through the day. You'll have about 20 to 25% left at the end of the day for medium to heavy usage. If you do a lot of videos, 60 frames per second, 4K, yes it does. 4K, 60 frames per second. This will drain your battery, but so does any other phone. So highly recommend. This battery is awesome. So kudos to the battery. This does support dash charge. Now what's dash charge? Dash Charge is OnePlus's own charging solution. It comes with a really thick red USB-A to USB Type-C cable, and the power brick is 5 volts and 4 amps. This 4 amps allows this to charge really quickly, and your phone doesn't get hot because the voltage is low. So this is awesome. I don't like charging my phones at night, especially with the iPhone 10. I put on the wireless charger, I wake up in the morning and the phone's too hot. And also when your phone gets hot, it knows the temperature and it will stop charging. What I can do is just lay my phone down here, since I have 25 to 30% at the end of the day, lay it on my desk, go to bed. When I wake up to go to work or when I'm doing something else, I can just pop this in the charger. 30 to 45 minutes later, I'm at 100%. So kudos to the battery, all day battery life. This battery is a major hit. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the camera. This camera is mediocre at best. Again, you have a 16 megapixel shooter as the primary camera with a 1.7 aperture and a 20 megapixel camera that's just strictly for portrait mode. The portrait mode doesn't really seem organic. The background's not really that blurry, and this phone has a really hard time focusing on a subject. I got a lot of blurry photos just because it had a hard time focusing on the subject. So hopefully they could really push a software update to really improve this. So the camera is mediocre. The color tones, the HDR isn't really that great. I saw a couple YouTubers really saying, oh, OnePlus stepped up the game with the camera. I don't really think so. I don't think this is a great camera at all. So if you're looking between an S9 Plus or a Pixel or an iPhone and your main thing is the camera, but you love the OnePlus price, pay the extra money and get yourself a S9 or iPhone 10 for the camera. This isn't really a great camera. So until there's a software update that makes it better, I would definitely pass on the camera. So that's the camera. And should you buy this? This is only a GSM carrier phone. So if you were on Verizon or Sprint, sorry, you're SOL. I'm going to say if you're on T-Mobile, I'm going to say that this is a major go. Just because T-Mobile has their hidden contracts, they have you on Jump, they have all this other crap that goes along with it when you upgrade. I'm going to say if you're on T-Mobile and you like unlocked phones, I would say this is definitely a go. You're going to save yourself some money. But if you're on AT&T, I would say pass. Why do I say pass? Right now at Best Buy, you can get $300 off a Samsung S9 Plus. You just have to either be eligible for an upgrade or you can even add a line if you want. But you'll get $300 off. And that $300 off isn't applied as credits. That $300 off is shown on your account as a down payment from Best Buy. So you're only paying installments on $600 and I believe it's $615, $613, around there. But you're saving $300. So for the 256 gigabyte model of the OnePlus, it's $629. When you can get an S9 Plus, which I have right here in my hand, which you can get an S9 Plus here for $600, and you have a 1440p display, super high res. You have a better camera. You have a dual 12 megapixel with a telephoto lens that has optical zoom. You have Dolby Atmos stereo speakers. You have wireless charging, and you have expandable storage. So if you're asking me which is the better buy, I would say go with the S9 Plus. You're gonna be paying around the same amount of money, and you'll get wireless charging, a better display, a better camera that has awesome portrait mode and awesome zoom, and you'll have expandable storage, so you could get up to a 400 gigabyte SD card. So pick yourself an S9 Plus if you're on AT&T. If you're on T-Mobile, get yourself a OnePlus 6. This is an excellent phone for the money. This is the fastest phone that I have ever used. Excellent job by OnePlus. They just need a software update with the camera, and I am a happy camper. That's all I have for you guys. Hit the subscribe button. Check me out on Instagram, CamTech TV, and I'll see you guys in the next one.